Hi, we live in the age of the media hype, and in general, media teaches us to increase in anticipation. It sells tickets. So next time they have a new movie out, already months in advance, weeks in advance, they tell you on this and this day will be the grand opening, and of course there are lines around the block waiting to see the film. But actually, this is not a new truth, it's an old truth. And that is, when you know something is coming and it's a very special event, you prepare yourself accordingly and you anticipate it with great relish. And I'm referring to actually this particular Shabbat. It is the 9th day of Av, and it's also the Shabbat which is called Shabbat Chazon, the Shabbat of vision. Why is it called the Shabbat of vision? So, of course, when we look at the Haftorah, the first word of the Haftorah is Chazon Yeshayahu. It is a vision that Isaiah saw, and therefore, based on the beginning of this Haftorah, we call it Chazon. But there's a much deeper meaning, and that is, this week, this weekend, this Shabbat, we will be privileged to have a vision. We will be exposed to seeing the third temple. We all know that the Jewish people mourn the loss of two temples, the first that was built under Solomon, Shlomo HaMelech, the second by the diaspora returning from Babylon under Ezra. And since then, over 1900 years, we've been waiting for a third temple. Actually, this temple, according to our tradition, is already built. It's in heaven, and it's waiting to descend. The rabbis tell us that the Shabbat before Tisha B'Av, which is this week, every soul is given a vision, a glimpse of this temple. And this glimpse reinvigorates and reinforces the faith. And it encourages us to prepare ourselves for this temple that will be speedily sent down. There's a wonderful parable given by one of the great Hasidic masters, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berditchev, and it goes somewhat like this. There was a father who loved his son greatly and wanted to show and bestow upon the child some mark of affection. And he made for him a most beautiful suit. Now we're talking about the days before Macy's and Bloomingdale's, and having a suit made for you meant calling a tailor and ordering expensive fabrics. And this child had this most beautiful suit, and he felt literally higher, exalted, and like what we would say today, euphemistically, he felt like $1 million. Of course, a suit like that had to be taken care of properly, but the children are children. And though he loved his father and appreciated the gift, he neglected to take care of the suit, and the suit eventually was torn and destroyed. Now the son is minus the suit, feels terrible, and he beseeches his father, please give me another chance. Make for me a second suit. And the father, who loves the child, says, of course, I will give you a second chance, and makes for him even a nicer suit, more expensive, a nicer cut, and so on. And the child again preens himself. He's so proud, he's so happy, he's so glorious. He has this wonderful suit, but children are children, and what happens is eventually he treats it with disrespect, and eventually the suit decays. Now he's minus a suit, and the child remembers what the suit looked like and how good he felt, and he comes to the father and he says, Father, please, it's already the third time, give me another chance. And the father, who loves his child, says, I'll give you another chance. And he actually makes for him a third suit. And the child sees the suit, wears the suit, and is very excited about it, but then the father says, I'm not letting you wear it completely. Now that you see that it fits you, it's going to stay in my closet. If I see that your behavior is appropriate, I will give it to you. I have to see you mature before I give you the suit. And the child now realizes that the suit is there, and the father wants to give it to him. It's up to the child to be worthy of it. So he starts increasing in his goodness and his behavior, tries to please his father. But every once in a while, he says, is it worth it? And when the father sees the child doubting, he brings him into the room, lets him look at the suit, maybe even lets him wear the suit. And when the child sees how wonderful it feels to have the suit, he leaves with the conviction that, yes, I will work harder on maturing myself and being worthy of the third suit. Well, these three suits are the temples. The first temple, the second temple, the third temple is there. And in order to encourage us to do the mitzvot and to be worthy of the third temple, God allows us to see this temple. And according to the great master of Levi Yitzchak, this is the Shabbat where all of us will be seen, will be allowed to glimpse this wonderful, beautiful temple. So friends, it's not a showing. It's not a theater event. It's actually a life-altering event. By Shabbat, I'm making this YouTube on Thursday. Perhaps by Shabbat, the Mashiach will have already arrived. But if heaven forbid he doesn't, and we still are going to celebrate Shabbat outside of Israel, in the state of exile, we must know that for 24 hours, somewhere along the line, our soul is going to be in proximity with the third temple. And we know it to be true. We know it's there. We know the father wants to give it to the child. We know the child is ready and eager to wear it. Let's hope and pray that this be the last day of exile. And indeed, by Tisha B'Av, we may celebrate only goodness and happiness together with all of Israel. Amen.
Makani